Hi, my name is Summer Hartman, and I run Summer Sleep Secrets, and I created the Parent Collaborative, and I'm here today with uh, Amanda from Butterfly Baby Concierge, and she's going to talk to us today about hiring nannies and talking to us about the difference between babysitting and nannying, and also it's Nanny Appreciation Week, so we're super excited to appreciate all of our nannies that work for us. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone. And
Hello, I am Amanda Kapci. I am the owner of Butterfly Baby Concierge, and as part of our services and something that we specialize in is placing high quality, wonderful nannies. And we have a process that's more catered to the family and making sure that we are really hand selecting and placing nannies based on your family's needs and the things that you are specifically looking for in your ideal nanny. So we really take that time to get to know each one of our clients personally, as well as getting to know our nannies very personally and staying very connected and involved in their jobs in the day-to-day.
and you have like a really unique process. You actually started going into the home of both the nannies and the people looking for nannies. Like you want to make sure that they're it's a well-placed position. You don't want to have someone going in blind.
Right. No, and that's really where we found we were going to be more of a concierge service than a nanny placement agency, and what that typically looks like. We wanted to be going into the home, getting to know these families on a very personal level. A lot of times hiring a nanny can be a really scary and intimidating process. You are trying to find somebody who can fit in not only with your family in the day-to-day, but also just with your kids, and making sure that your kids are loved and supported and encouraged. And it's really a team. And so really our whole platform is making it so that we are defining that family team, so to speak.
Right.
And what a lot of people call a tribe, or a group of people that it really takes, like you hear it said all the time, it takes a village, and it certainly does. It really, you have to have that strong unit around your family to make it so that it is a positive and encouraging and well supported network there in your home.
And that's such a comfort, because I have a lot of, as a newborn care specialist, I have a lot of clients always ask, do you know a good nanny? And I'm like, yeah, just go right through my agency, Butterfly Baby Concierge. She'll place a nanny with you, because it really alleviates us having to find someone, and it's not really our category. It's not what we do. It's not in our, I don't know what it is, but not in our time. We just don't have that placement. So,
right.
No, so we're going to move on to a little bit more about baby. This week is Nanny Appreciation Week.
Yes.
Okay. So what are 3 things that employers that can do to like show their nanny appreciation? Like what can they do?
The first thing that comes to mind is this week I had a nanny who texted me, because again, I stay very involved with my nannies as well, and just really supporting and encouraging them. And so I had a nanny who texted me this week, and she was like, oh my gosh, she had just started a position with a family. Aww. She's a career nanny, has been, with multiple families through the years, but she said, I've never had somebody give me flowers before. She was like, it was the end of her first week. It was Friday, and she came to her job, and there was a beautiful bouquet of flowers on the kitchen counter with just a little note that just simply said, you did such an amazing job this week, and our lives are just so different now having you here, and we're so excited about the future. And, just what an amazing thing to do, just to take time out, that mom, took time out to make sure that she felt encouraged and supported. And so little things like that. Flowers are great. We all love flowers, or your favorite chocolate or snack. A lot of my nanny families will ask me, what are some things that we could do? And I tell them, your home is going to be their workspace. So, typically in your workspace, it's very unique, right? You like to have things a certain way, and you might like to have your favorite coffee in the cabinet and your favorite coffee creamer in the fridge, or your favorite kind of tea or snacks. Any of those little things that families can do just to show that appreciation for their nanny and just for their caregivers in their home who are working with their children every day are going to make a huge, huge impact. Little notes, like I said, with the flowers of just supportive encouragement, text messages through the day, those things always make a huge difference too. And I know not just only my nannies, but just nannies in general love to have, oh, there's my kitty cat. Like to have that just that support and encouragement through the day too. So just little things like that can really make a huge difference in setting the stage to be just that form of appreciation for sure.
And being a former nanny myself, years ago, I actually just posted a photo online from 1996.
Oh, I saw
my first gig in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And, we can feel underappreciated sometimes. And that's honesty. Because sometimes people just take you for granted that you're going to be doing all their errands. You're going to be taking care of their kids. And you can they can get very used to you. So it's really important that we don't forget that they're actually working and serving you, and that they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. Because a lot of times it's not easy to work with kids.
No.
It's a really hard position sometimes to go into a home and have to meld into somebody's relationship, because it is a relationship with a family. So you have to be able to bond with them. And that's why sometimes we go through multiple nannies or we go through multiple jobs. Because the family fits. So yeah, it's really good a reminder to have that appreciation for sure. Yeah. And this week is all about it, and everyone will talk about it all week long.
Yes, I love it. It is something that I think, unfortunately, a lot of times it does just get overlooked. And it can be where I, counsel my clients and nannies on is it's a very personal relationship, but it's one where the lines can get easily blurred in that relationship, where you start to have this person every day in your home working with your kids. They're doing a phenomenal job and sometimes that can, just by nobody else's fault, but it just can get overlooked or underappreciated for the job that they're doing every day. And being a nanny and working with kids, too, it is not easy. Yeah. It is not easy. And
there's a balance between everything. There really is.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's why I like talking about this, because I think that there's not enough subjects on not crossing the line.
Yes.
That is huge. I mean, it's really, really interesting, because I'm coming from both perspectives. I've had a nanny in my home. Yep. Potty trained my own children. I did not potty train my own children. I will. My nanny did. But I was a nanny too. So, the lines can be blurred in our relationships and feelings can be hurt. So it's so imperative that we keep it's a business. We're family. We love you, but look, this is a business ultimately.
And that's something else that I counsel my clients on, is that employee-employer relationship, and how to really set that stage so that those lines don't get blurred, so that you do feel very loved and appreciated and a part of a family and a part of a family unit, as you should. Mm-hmm. But that it is also still a place of work, and there is that fine line between employee, employer, and just things that you can do to set that stage so that you don't have that be an issue later down the road, that things are kind of getting blurred there. Yeah.
So easy to happen though. So we have to keep the subject open. That's for sure.
Right.
All right. So what are 3 things that you look for in basically it says a strong nanny candidate?
Yeah. One of the big things that I look for, of course, first and foremost, is just a strong resume. My nannies have to get me a resume. And it's shocking to me how many times I will have a nanny apply and say, well, I've never had to do a resume. And again, I'm setting that stage from the very beginning that this is a job. This is a career. This is something that if you are wanting to do this, whether it's just for a few years or, 20 plus years, that you really set that stage for being a career professional. And my girls that are 18 years old, all the way up to 60 years old, I make them put together a resume for me, and a resume that they can show their next employer or my client to really just show and highlight their work experience, especially in childcare, whether that's, just babysitting or working in the church nursery or volunteering somewhere, or again, those career nannies that have been doing this for multiple years. And the interesting thing is the nannies that are career nannies and have been doing this for multiple years and that they don't have a resume, they come back to me and they're like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing to be able to go through and really put those thoughts together, and the jobs that I've done and the experience that I've had. And it kind of brings all of that to light, so to speak, for them too. And again, then that's when I, encourage them that, yeah, like, look at, all of this that you have done and all of this that you have to show. And it's pretty amazing, so they have to get me a strong resume. They also have to meet with me in a face-to-face interview. And those face-to-face interviews are one where I feel like I get the most knowledge base for my nannies and just understanding who they are both professionally and personally as well. A lot of times I think it's easy just to, pick up the phone and have a phone call and screen somebody that way, but I don't do that. I have them meet with me in a face-to-face interview. And while it takes more time to do it that way, I definitely get a better understanding of who this individual is in that face-to-face interview. And just their motivation to get there and do an interview with me too, then I get a lot more understanding of who this person is.
Well, it's a job. It's a job. It's like if you were going to a corporate office and you need a resume, you need to meet with the boss.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah,
definitely. And the other thing is references and positive references. I tell my nanny candidates, I don't want to talk to your best friend or the neighbor down the street or, somebody that's not attached to you professionally. I want to talk to 3 people who can vouch for who you are professionally in a professional working environment. And that's, again, how you get just more knowledge base as to who this individual is and sort of what they have to offer and how they represent themselves in a professional working environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, and that's an agency you want to work with, because then you're vetting them. I mean, that's the hardest thing, is not knowing who's coming to your door. I actually had an experience where I was going on an interview and the woman came to the door and she goes, oh, thank God it's you. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? I mean, like, I had no clue. I looked at her like, what does that mean? She goes, well, I looked you up on Facebook and I guess I didn't find you because I found a girl named Summer Hartman, but she was completely tattooed head to toe. And I wasn't quite sure. It didn't look like you were in the baby world.
Right.
So, I learned from that lesson on. I made everything public because I was like, okay, everyone has to find me. That's a part of the search too, is like,
it is 100%.
You can get into social media and that subject is like,
that's a whole nother thing,
a whole other world. But yeah, I mean, that was enlightening to me, like going on this interview and they're like, oh, phew, you look normal. It's like, yeah, not saying that person wouldn't have been a good nanny or a night nurse, but he just wasn't comfortable with what she found online.
Yes. So again, that is a whole other side of it too. And one that I am constantly educating my nannies and my nanny tribe on is to keep your Facebook looking how you would want it represented on a professional level as well.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah. I mean, the only thing, I know my daughter, she does Snapchat, and I'm like, I know it disappears, and I'm like, I think maybe that's the only one, and there's some secret ones. But Facebook really is for business. Facebook is business. Instagram is business. LinkedIn is business. Those are your 3 keys in this industry. So, yeah, keep it clean. Keep keep your private life private. We don't need to know.
No, no. And yeah, and then just also a background screening, of course, and a full criminal history and driving record, and all of that is a part of it too. But yeah, the face-to-face interview, a solid resume, and references are my top 3 kind of go-tos for screening for sure.
Totally understand that.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the benefit for a family in using a nanny placement company like you to hire you? What is the benefit of that?
Right. I would say number 1 is just a time saver. It takes a lot of time to sift through all of the different resumes. We get sometimes up to 20, sometimes 30 resumes a day submitted. So just taking the time to go through all of those, to also meet in a face-to-face interview. That's where, I mean, a lot of times people come to me and they said, I've been looking and looking and looking and looking for a nanny on my own, and it's just been scary. You know, like you were talking about, the people that show up or that don't show up and totally on them and just completely waste their time. So that's the biggest one, is time saver for sure. A nanny placement service is going to take that time away so that you can just concentrate on the personal side of things and bring you solid candidates that are going to meet the needs of your family, so that you're not having to sift through hundreds of resumes and schedule meetings and have people not show up when they say they're going to show up, or that sort of thing. So definitely time saver. The other one is just safety. Again, the vetting and the screening process of what it takes to find these solid candidates. You're going to have that peace of mind in knowing that the candidates that are being brought to you are safe and good and solid candidates that should be working in your home and with your children.
Well, and you do something slightly different too. I think I learned this when you had me go on a overnight job. You went on the interview with me, which had never happened before for any agency I'd ever done. So I thought that's something new. So at least you're actually going and kind of holding the hand of both the homeowner, the family, and the nanny. You're kind of there with them. So that was quite interesting. You know, being in the newborn care specialist industry, we kind of run our own companies. So you know, it's kind of in a way another. I would say it's kind of another bonus to what you offer. It's not something every nanny agency ever does.
Right. And that's what I keep hearing from nannies, both, again, novice nannies and career nannies who have been doing it for a while, who have kind of gone through this process for many years. They're like, oh my gosh, you're going to go with me, you know? And again, that's where I love to be there. I love to help facilitate that conversation. I love to see the connection that's there, because again, this is a very personal relationship, and one that needs to be supported from the very, very beginning. So I like to be there from the very, very beginning, for sure.
That's good. All right. So what are 3 things that a family can do to basically they can keep the nanny long term? Like what can they do to like keep that nanny long term? What do you suggest?
I think the biggest one, which we've already hit on, was continuing to maintain that employee-employer relationship. One of the things that I encourage all of my clients and nannies to do from the very beginning is to establish what I just call a nanny binder. And it's literally a 3-ring binder that you can keep all receipts submitted, time cards, points of contact or emergency contact information, insurance cards. All of that should be a part of that. And it's just a quick reference and a quick go-to should anything arise where you need to go back to it. It can also be a list of the job description and sort of what they've signed up for in the very beginning, as just another quick reference of, you know, hey, what are some things that we can do here to help continue to facilitate that relationship and that employee-employer relationship. The other one is just forms of appreciation, like I said earlier too, with just little notes or their ideal snack in the pantry. Just those little forms of communication and appreciation throughout their time of working with you is going to really help foster that strong connection between the nanny and the family. The other one is listening to their needs, and understanding that first and foremost, this is their job. This is their career. This is something that they are doing really at the end of the day to make money. I heard a funny story on a tangent on Facebook the other day about a nanny who was with her nanny kids, and the nanny kid said to her, "You should really get a job at Chick-fil-A so that you have a real job." And she's like, or no, he said, I what do you do for a job? And she said, "I work at Chick-fil-A." And she said, "I couldn't tell him that his parents pay me, to watch him and to play with him. So I told him that I worked at Chick-fil-A."
Oh no.
Isn't that the best? But that's just really where you have to have that strong connection there with the family, for sure. But listening to their needs and understanding that this is their job, this is their career. They are there to, provide for themselves or their family.
Yeah.
And so really understanding about paid time off and vacations, and nannies get sick just like anybody else and might need a day off. So again, that's where our business and our services kind of help encourage that platform and encourage that relationship, and that we have subs and temps that can come in for the day should your nanny get sick or need the day off. But that's another just really big thing that I find in that employee-employer relationship is just listening to their needs and listening to them, and just kind of helping meet them, where they're at, of course, too. Yeah.
It's funny because I just keep listening to you, and I'm just thinking of all the jobs I've had over the years and how the lines can be blurred. And I just, I had one job years ago that they offered me the moon and back.
Yeah.
Honestly, they were like, $100,000 in a house, your kid's going to school.
Yes.
We'll pay for their college tuition. If I would stay, and I was just like, I knew if I did that as a nanny, the lines would be blurred because I would be at their whim.
Right.
There's things like you can offer a nanny that they're going to say no to because like they know that, there's this relationship is going to be crossed. And so we sometimes have to step back and say, no, this isn't going to work for me. Now, a lot of nannies actually don't have the power or the force to do that. That's something you gain over years of knowledge.
Yes.
But that's something that should be taught to nannies, actually, is to have that backbone, because there is a line where parents want to have you do too much. Mm-hmm. And so then you got to step back and go, I'm sorry, this is my time off and I'm leaving.
Right.
There's a big battle online about that between employees and families. So, there's things that we have to I think there's respect in both ways. And I think you're doing a great job by teaching the families to be respectful to the nanny and the nanny to be respectful to the family. I think that it actually should be a contract between agreements that my time is my time and your time is your time.
Right.
So it's a different situation, but it's a fun one. I mean, it's enjoyable. I've done corporate world. I've done companies, and nannying is relaxing to me. So, there's all sorts of ways to work and have a good job, but
Yes. And I tell nannies too, and the young nannies who are kind of coming up in the nanny world, of the opportunities that are there are endless, and I'm kind of biased, but I look at nanny experience on a resume. Again, I see tons of resumes come through every day. And the ones that have that strong nanny experience, I'm like, I can tell right away that you are going to be punctual. You're going to be reliable. You're going to be able to juggle many hats. So whether you stay in the nanny world or go on to do something else in the future, if anybody looking at a resume sees nanny experience and understands what all of that entails in the day-to-day, really, it's such a positive and wonderful thing to have that experience, and hopefully to have a positive experience.
Yeah.
them to
Well,
go.
I think that you're creating something that is needed here in Phoenix, and I'm happy that you're here locally. Who knows,
Yes.
maybe in the future you may spread out to other parts of the world, but
Mm-hmm.
here you're doing really good and flourishing, so it's good. Get your base started
Yes.
and going. So I wanted to take the time to say thank you so much for being a part of this parent collaborative and get this out there so parents can know just kind of what the agencies are doing and what you're thinking and also what nannies are thinking. I kind of threw that in there.
Yeah, no, I love it.
So, all right, well, we'll say goodbye and I'll be right back with another show.
Thank you.
All right.